Hello, hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? Hold on a second. Okay. Yay! Hey, how you doing, gorgeous? Thank you so much for showing up. I'm so excited. I'm so excited about today. Hi, Jamie. I'll let you hop in just a second. I'll just introduce the show. So welcome everyone. Thank you so much for showing up, for being on time, for being there. Today I have a special guest, which is Jamie Benizri. He's an attorney. I'll be talking about it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. Yo, it's all about spreading some loves, you know what I'm saying? So it's all good. I'm really, really happy to have you here also, and Judy. So Jamie will be talking about, the law, more specifically the contract, the relationship at work and stuff like that. And if, as usual, I mean, if you have any questions, you feel free. You just ask away. I will do my best, to include them as we go through the conversation. I'm really excited about today, especially because we'll be talking about a serious but not too serious subject. I mean, Jamie, I don't know him. Like, I've never met him. It just seems to be a lot of fun and super, like, his English is so eloquent. So without further ado, I'll let him into the... Oh, actually, just before, yeah, hold on a second. So I'll just... Hi, oh my God. Is it T-Fane? T-Fane?
Hey Jamie, oh my God,
Hey,
you're wearing your okay. Wow, you have a cap. You have the cap.
yeah, I wasn't messing around with my branding.
Yo, that's what I'm talking about. Hello everyone. Hello everyone. So today I have the pleasure of having the attorney Jamie Benizri. Did I pronounce your name correctly? Because that's really
Oui,
important.
tu peux le dire en français. We can do it in Fringlish.
Oh, ok, ça c'est super important. Merci de le mentionner. Jamie parle français, il s'exprime super bien en français. So, si vous êtes plus à l'aise en français, posez vos questions en français. Puis il va y répondre en français ou en anglais ou in Franglish like he just mentioned. So it's all good. So maybe we start with yes, introducing yourself, but not really, not so much. Maybe through the 89 laws, so that way people
Yeah,
understand what it's all about.
yeah. Thank you so much. Great initiative. I love the energy. I love you hit the pulse on the culture montréalaise, multicultural English French. Anything goes. Like pour moi, a channel like this is so essential. Keep up the great work and the great energy.
Thank you.
A lot more people like you, especially during COVID. So I'm a lawyer. I started my practice about 10 years ago. I started my journey 10 years ago. I was in business and I was in science and I thought maybe I was going to be a doctor. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but at the end of the day, I'm passionate about people. I'm passionate about creating. And for me,
Mhm.
I express my entrepreneurship and my creativity and my business sense, my désir pour créer la valeur within a community through Legal Logic, which is the law firm that I founded. Through Legal Logic, I had such an amazing, so many amazing opportunities to have great clients, uh,
Mhm.
have some shitty clients sometimes in 10 years, but because I threw myself out of the plane and tried to figure it out, I learned a lot of the journey on my own, and that comes with a lot of great stories. And a lot of those stories are in 89L, 89 Laws of Entrepreneurship, the good, the bad, the ugly, and things that people go through from beginning to growth, and sometimes losing it all, coming back, and having all these emotions. So that's me in a nutshell. I'm just a regular guy. I love people. Pretty simple. And I'm glad that my character resonates with you and kind
It does.
of clicked with you for you to connect with me. I'm very grateful for that.
Well, thank you so much, Jamie. I'd like maybe before we get into the law, type of thing, you
Sure.
talked about shitty clients. And it's not, I don't want to put the emphasis on negativity because I'm really more of a positive person. But then again, I'm sure you'll find a way to bring that into a positive manner because I'm sure it will resonate with a lot of people. Whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're just, I don't know, just somebody like who's trying to deal with, I don't know, managing maybe people as well. How do you deal with that? How were you able to maybe push, I wouldn't say push them aside, but maybe focus more on the more positive client, or maybe
Yeah.
paying clients? How did you do
Yeah.
that?
Good question. I think, one of the reasons why I love doing these podcasts is that it makes me go deeper into the way that the way that I used to think. And it's very helpful for me to live some of the past. And a lot of my past stems from clients, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I think that looking back, I no longer have bad clients? Is it because it's me? Is it because now I'm older and I'm more gray, or a better lawyer? I think that it comes with experience. And so, like you said, I'm like you. I'm like, you know, the glass is always going to be half full. So what does that mean? It means that you, as the service provider, whether you give massages, whether you give coaching sessions, you're in control. You set the guide of how the relationship is going to carry on. And so if you let the client walk all over you, if you let the client not pay invoices, if you let the client, you know, dictate the terms of when he's going to pay you and how he's going to pay you and how much he's going to, that makes for a bad relationship, because you're compromising on your values, you're compromising on yourself and on your business. And so when you stop compromising, when you realize the value that you have and the confidence gets stronger, you start to be able to have a very different relationship with your clients. Okay, so that's, for me, I think that's what I recognize. And I used to say, and I told you that I used to have bad clients, but it was me that sometimes didn't have the maturity, didn't have the confidence, didn't have the time to pay attention to what was going on. And so it's very easy to say, he's a shitty client. It's very easy to say he was the problem and it wasn't me. But it's not the case. It's not the case. We are all in control. And if we don't set expectations right and we're not very clear message, that's when we get into trouble. And that's when we start using terms like shitty.
Yeah.
I pointed that out. That's a sign of a very good interviewer, to point out an element like that and turn it into a question. So that's, I didn't even realize I did that. But thank you for picking up on that.
Oh, well, this is what I did. I just want to read the comments from James saying, gray hair makes us men look better. Okay, it's all good. I do agree. I do agree. And also, James has a question. You know, before we get into maybe how you grew your confidence, maybe talk about what it is that you do, especially in law. Like, what do you specialize in? Commercial, criminal? What do you do?
I've done so many things, because I used to be a prosecutor pour la ville de Montréal. I was a prosecutor, and then I started my own firm. When I was working in a small firm environment before I created my firm, I did everything. Incorporations, contracts, divorces, immigration. So when I opened my firm, I was ready for everything. And I had to take on so much volume because I had a big dream. I started incurring expenses. I signed a lease. I hired employees. I bought mobilier pour le bureau, pour qu'on voir comme du monde. And so I needed to pay the bills. And so I thought I was going to be Harvey Specter, right?
You look the part. You look the part. I'm just saying.
Harvey Specter in the suit and the high office. But Hollywood, right? In reality, you're taking clients who can pay. Sometimes they can't pay. You got to pay your bills. So I learned to use all of my skills to serve all the clients that came to me. And that's how I started hiring somebody with a specialty, you know, to help me, you know, with my workload. And au fur et à mesure, naturellement, we developed a momentum and a business and a this and a that, and it took a long time. And we're finally at a point where I'm much more clear what I want. And because I didn't know, I used to want to have an office in the city. I wanted to be international. I wanted to have an office with hundreds of people, and I just don't want that anymore.
Oh,
you know, the grayer version of wants very simple things. I want to be able to serve my clients efficiently. I want to have a small, very efficient core team. I want to be lean. I want to be quick. I want to be hungry. I want to be entrepreneurial. I don't want to put all those things in place that are going to make me something that I'm not. I'm not a corporate, a boardroom type kind of guy. I set up his office because there's no more room and another lawyer needs it.
Wow. And something that I saw on LinkedIn, because you're really, well, you do other things. I mean, you started also your show, you know, your interviews every day, you know, Entrepreneurs for Quarantine. And there's a post in LinkedIn, because you're also really, really present within LinkedIn, which mentioned that you gave your office away. Like, it's not I think we just lost Jamie. Jamie will be back soon. So Jamie is, okay, so Jamie's back. So I was saying that you're really present, you know, in LinkedIn, and you, according to one post that you actually posted. You said that you gave your office away. Like you don't need the office. You rather have everyone comfortable, more comfortable. So, like tell us a little bit more maybe about your philosophy, about your mentality, because you're also a leader. You know, you have your own firm, you have people within the firm, and now the wiser version of yourself maybe, or the grayer version of yourself, if I can say, changed a little bit. So you started from the big dream, like it was more the way that I hear it. It was more like material, like big, huge Harvey Specter, you know, the top of the building with the view and everything. And now you're more focusing on the core. So how did you go from one to the other?
I think that you have everyone who goes into law has a preconception about how they think it's going to be. Lamborghinis, Ferraris, exotic cars, fancy dinners and lunches. I'm not a materialistic person. And I think what was driving me, was part ego, pride, being scared to fail because I had set my dreams and my aspirations so big. You become scared. You become lost in the momentum of what you tried to build and what you projected onto the world. And I think that it takes a bigger person, a more confident, mature version of yourself to say, you were young when you thought of all those things. It's okay to change. It's okay to update your vision. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make it a reflection of who I am and what me and the people around me value. And what do we value? We value close relationships, no nonsense, transparency. We value fun, being different from every other law firm. And so, I think that ego gets in the way sometimes of all those things. And so that my aspirations were a result of all these things that I thought I wanted as a person, as a leader, as a boss. James actually made a very good comment. Wouldn't it be smarter to specialize in things we have? And so the stories that I'm telling were really from the beginning when we were doing a lot of different things. Over the years, we've developed a lot of special. So for example, we do a lot of real estate litigation. So I handle all the real estate, les vices cachés, les problèmes relatifs à l'immobilier. We handle all of those across the province pour le groupe immobilier Sutton, pour la Bannière, pour un programme qu'on a créé pour eux. We do a lot of corporate and commercial law. So I have 3 contracts after this that I need to review. My technicien corporatif will do about 10 corporations. We do a lot of business with people going into business.
Yes.
So all of my lawyers have specialized in something, whether it's AMF, securities, pénal, criminel, droit du travail, assurance. We've really carved out what makes money for us, what we're good at, and we've started outsourcing things that we're not so good at. Immigration. Because at a certain point, tu peux pas tout faire, c'est impossible.
Exactement. And maybe I'd like you to talk a little bit more about, we have your new law, like NOOLAW. J'ai joué avec le mot, j'avais ça. Tell us more about that. The relationship at work and the contract, also employment, contract. Tell us a little bit more about that.
NOOLAW was something that I thought of during COVID. It's something that I wanted to do. Pour mettre l'avant et pour vraiment mettre l'emphase sur l'éducation, sur comment se préparer, comment outiller le monde. Parce que quand les gens me demandent qu'est-ce que je fais, qu'est-ce que tu fais, Benizri, tu es juste un autre avocat. No, I want to be somebody qui va outiller le monde avec des ressources judiciaires, des ressources d'affaires et avec un réseau qui nous appuie, qui nous supporte. So I wanted to create a hub of professionals, coaches, professionals, lawyers, accountants, life coaches, business coaches, where we can give trainings, we can talk, we can have a hub of free and paid resources as a mix. So we were doing all these things, and I created my own site. We managed 5 websites. This one I did myself because I wanted to go through the process of creating and thinking and drafting. And NOOLAW is a community pour monsieur, madame, tout le monde et pour les entrepreneurs pour avoir les ressources judiciaires and to connect with their community. Local businesses, lawyers, professionals, et d'autres professionnels dans différents réseaux. That's really going to be in different cities and different provinces, maybe hopefully in different countries. And so I started giving my courses through NOOLAW, and I'm developing it. But the concept is it's new law. We're living in a new world, post-COVID. We need to reflect about what we're doing as leaders and professionals dans la communauté.
Well, first thing first, congratulations, because it's an amazing initiative, you know. And also, Jamie, I'd like to maybe come back on something that you said before, and I'm sure it will resonate with a lot of people because, well, I speak for myself. You know, being scared of failing is something that is always in my mind. Eventually, it will no longer be an option. I hope. I'd like you to tell me maybe how you handled it. You know, you said at first you had a big dream, so you decided to buy this, buy that, le mobilier, tout ça. What did you do to overcome that fear of failure? Is it still there? Is it gone?
Yeah, it's still there. I think, you know, fear of failure should always be there because I think that's what drives a lot of cautionary actions that you're going to take and will hopefully make sure it's like a safety net. And if you don't failure and a little bit of fear in your mind, you can sometimes act irrationally. And so I think that you need to have just enough fear, but you need to have the courage to recognize the fear, but also to act on, you know, your vision and what you've set yourself as a goal, as an agenda. And so I think the turning point becomes realizing that failure is okay, that being vulnerable is okay, that if you fail, there's still going to be people by your side because you've developed strong relationships that, you know, people see you as a leader. But when you show vulnerability and you show that, you know what, I am scared to fail and that I may fail, everybody. Look, I had this huge dream, but look, I'm on the verge of failing. I think that it deepens the relationship with everyone in your circle. And you bring people on a journey with you that is exciting, that is inspiring sometimes. And that's what I wanted to do, is open up the vision, let people contribute in a great way to it. And you know what, we're either going to succeed together or we're going to fail together, but we're going to make, you know, we're going to be in the boat together, whether, you know, it sinks.
Yeah.
Or ça va traverser l'Atlantique. It can go either way. But what's exciting is that we're in it together, and it's not just me who's paddling over and over again. I've got a whole crew who's paddling on both sides, and we're staying the course. And yeah, you know, there's choppy waters, but you know, we're gonna be okay.
I love the fact that you brought that analogy because it makes me think of a dragon boat. You know, I've never been on a dragon boat, but I could just see you. You know, there's a leader, the one who communicates how to, and you have everyone paddling. And at the same time, you realize that everyone is important. Everyone has their place. I'd like you to tell me. Yeah.
We did dragon boating a couple of years ago with my staff, and we failed miserably. We didn't do very well. Not because we couldn't, just because maybe we're not coordinated. But the metaphor of the boat is much better than the real boat.
But this brings out a really interesting point, and I'm sure like a lot of, you know, people at home right now who are watching might be also manager, might be leader, or might be attending to become a leader. You know, coordination is, would you say that, like, how would you, not rank, but what's the importance of coordination? Like, what are the skills that,
yeah, coordination. Coordination for me is tantamount, équivaut à d'avoir un sens d'organisation. I don't have a sense of organization.
Okay.
I'm not very good because I'm scattered. I'm scattered all over the place. I take on a lot of projects. I have 15 phone calls at the same time. I'm texting 17 people. Sometimes I send the wrong text to the wrong people. So I'm not a very good organizer. I'm very good at executing things on a one-on-one basis. Sorry, it's my daughter. I need to give her my computer. One sec. Come on in. So I'm not very good at organizing, but one thing that I'm good at is trying to execute. Was the question organization, or what was it before? I lost it.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. I'm here for that. Exactly, you're good. You don't even need me.
Coordination. It takes a while to coordinate. And I think even for us as a team, it takes a while for the office culture to take over. Office culture is the hardest thing to build in any business, and it can take a long time for to weed out the people that don't belong there, but just as importantly, to keep the people that belong there because their character fits. You can always teach someone the technical skills afterwards. Comment faire une mise en demeure, comment écrire une lettre, comment prendre un appel. All that stuff is easy. What you can never teach is attitude, is loyalty, is a sense of community, of coordination. And if you can coordinate an office culture, it takes over and your job as a leader becomes very easy because people come into a world that they help to create, that they're a part of. And so even though they see me, on LinkedIn every couple of days, and I'm on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm with you right now, you can. Sorry, she's got a Zoom meeting for school.
It's so good.
That's the dog. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
There's my man right there.
Hold on a second, Jimmy. I couldn't front about this. I mean, everybody watching right now who knows me, they know that I'm not a fan of dogs. So it's actually really funny that you're taking the time. I'm sure the people that are fans of dogs will appreciate that. Show some love.
Yeah, thank you. So all this to say that coordination is so important. And I like the word coordination. I don't hear that word in that context often, but I like it because you need coordination to execute a vision, a dream. And I think it's a great word.
And also, Jamie, he pointed out something that is highly interesting and will resonate with a lot of people. I'm sure it will. People who don't belong there as opposed to people who belong there. How were you able to différencier les deux?
Wow, very good. I think that it happens automatically because, we're a small team. And so we have our own jokes, façon de faire, like I said, façon de parler aux clients. On développe des similarités dans la façon de fonctionner. So when somebody comes in that doesn't belong there, I'm going this way and this person is going that way, it's very easy to identify. And it's even easier for them to feel that they don't belong there. And so sometimes I don't notice it because I'm in my own world and other people in the office will bring it up to me. But usually the people that belong there are the people that are part of the team, that are part of the family. And so I think it happens automatically. And if it doesn't happen automatically, there's somebody who's part of the core who says, this person isn't really part of the team.
Yeah.
And I got to say, okay, I'll start paying attention. But I think that's what happens is that it's not even written. It's not even like I have a manuel en ressources humaines to say, if you answer the following questions et tu scores un 8 sur 10, tu fais partie de l'équipe. It's not written. You're a people person. You understand empathy and compassion and hard work and sens de famille, culture. Those things you can't explain. They're either in or they're out. It's like the mafia.
And how do you deal with those people, especially once you've identified them? Like how? Because part of being a leader is also telling that person to go. If that person, because sometimes that person do not want to go. They don't necessarily fit in, but at the end of the day, they still need the money. They still need the XYZ. So how do you deal with those type of situations, maybe from a legal point of view?
Yeah, that's a good question. So when you talk about employment contracts, obviously, if somebody doesn't come to your 5 assets, c'est pas grave. Yeah, fine. You want them to be part of the team and they don't come to the social functions. C'est pas obligatoire. On se comprend. But at a certain point, for me, c'est une indication qu'il y a d'autres choses qui peut-être vont mal ou en fait nécessitent un regard ou une surveillance plus attentive. And what does that mean is that if they're not with the team et il n'y a pas de connexion, ça va être très difficile de collaborer en équipe, de travailler avec les clients, de comprendre le dynamique et le fonctionnement interne. And so for me, that's usually one sign. It's not usually if you don't come, you're fired. It's, what's going on here? Why are they different? Fait que pour moi, habituellement, c'est un signe que ça va mal ailleurs ou qu'on devrait surveiller leur capacité de faire partie de l'équipe.
That's a really good point. It's actually, it's like you know, because you're a runner.
Yeah.
So running is most likely like a solo type of activity, unless you run within a group. Like, what is it you do exactly?
Yeah, solo. Because I run in different times, I usually run by myself, des fois à 5 heures du matin, des fois le soir, des fois après un live. Ça diffère. Alors pour moi, you have to wait for the teacher to log in. For me, c'est un truc personnel parce que I've got my earphones, I'm listening to an audio, a podcast, I'm listening to your lives. Et pour moi, c'est un moment de réflexion, c'est un moment de personnel en fait.
Okay. So it's all good.
I don't necessarily share with people unless I'm doing a marathon où on s'entraîne en amis. C'est délibéré en fait.
And you know where I was going with that is like it's I was maybe more referring to a sports team because you know I played a lot of like basketball, baseball, ultimate frisbee, whatever, you know, you name it, I was pretty much there. And at the end of the day, you can see, you know, a point guard, basketball was pretty much the main activity. As a point guard, you're supposed to say everything on the floor, which I did, just so you know. But I mean, at the same time, sometimes you might not have seen everything, okay? And it's all good. And you have your teammates. You have also your teammates on the bench, you know, screaming out for you, telling you, okay, watch this, watch that. So at the end of the day, whenever you build your core, it's also a safety net. It's like, okay, this or that person, you know, whenever you came to a certain trust level, loyalty level, it's like, okay, everything you're supposed to tell me that you will tell me will be for the team. So yeah, that's really, really
we try to do team activities and volleyball, and we try to do things together as often as we can. And I think it's important as a group. I think group activities are still so important.
Oh, that's really amazing. And also, this is a question that I was thinking about asking a long time ago and I never did, and now it just seems to be the point, you know, the time. C'est lors de tes funérailles, OK? Lors de tes funérailles, qu'est-ce que tu aimerais que les gens disent à ton propos? Qu'est-ce que tu penses que les gens diront à ton propos?
That's a very good question. I can tell you that my grandfather, qui était, en fait, il est venu en Europe après la guerre, l'histoire classique d'un immigrant, d'un pauvre immigrant. Il a bâti son petite entreprise, puis il a travaillé très fort avec sa famille. Et c'était à une époque où il y avait moins d'avocats, moins de litiges. Être en affaires meant, to be in business, meant to have not only self-respect, but being able to be trustworthy and being able to be relied upon. And so anyone who speaks of my late grandfather will say, what a great guy, you know, life of the party, you know, he gave himself, you know, freely, and he always kept to his word. And I always have that in the back of my mind as, you know, not disappointing, you know, and, you know, sometimes we disappoint our kids because we can't play with them for 8 hours. I mean, they want me to play baseball with them 8 hours a day. I'm like, guys, I mean, I can only play 15 minutes and then I got, you know what I mean? But I think it's important to be loyal to everything that you say, to follow through with what you say. Your reputation is everything. As a lawyer, your reputation is everything. It could be destroyed overnight because of us. You know, you tried to make a quick buck because you cut corners. And I haven't always been perfect. My reputation, you know, with certain people has gone up and down because I'm the kind of guy that creates relationships everywhere. Yeah. And so the problem is that when you create relationships everywhere, it's really hard to maintain every single relationship. Now, imagine you were one person with a massive garden and you're the only one watering the flowers. How many flowers could you possibly water? And so that was my biggest problem, is that I created so many relationships. I created so many businesses. I created so many opportunities that at a certain point, things start to suffer. People start to get mad that you can't pay attention to them as much as they need your attention. And so I really learned over the years to be very deliberate with who I can spend time with, which ones are my most important relationships. And I want to focus on those relationships as much as possible because my reputation is everything. And I want people to say the same things about me than they said about my grandfather.
Mm.
Meeting. Good
Tell
for
your daughter to say hi, hi,
her.
hi. Um, in the meantime, because I know you can do more than one thing at once, I'll read a comment from James. James says, hold on a second, I'm sorry. Okay, there has to be a healthy balance of team building activities and the output of work. So that's really good. That's excellent. That's exactly what we're talking about. And do I have your attention enough to read a question at the same time? Yeah, okay. So question from Magali. Hello, Magali. Magali is wondering, legally speaking, after COVID, how hard will it be d'avoir un partenaire qui vient de l'international? What should we
Mm.
consider in our legal contract? That's a really good
Yeah,
question.
yeah. So d'abord, je pense que ça va être aussi simple que d'avoir un partenaire. She wrote in English. Yeah, I think it's going to be as easy as before, because à l'international, on parle de contrat écrit, on parle de Zoom, on parle de forcément des lignes de communication qui sont digitales, qui sont par vidéo. So nothing's going to change. I mean, the law will still protect and preserve those relationships. Obviously, si on parle de import-export et de conférences, et si c'est un modèle d'affaires qui nécessite beaucoup de voyages, beaucoup de FaceTime, c'est sûr que sens d'affaires, il faut faire attention de commencer une relation, or to start a relationship, prematurely, because I mean, what I hate to see my clients and my contacts creating a relationship that they cannot keep the momentum on. And that's the worst, because you get excited, you make a big announcement, on va faire le lancement le 1er septembre, and you can't execute properly because you can't travel, you can't get the goods, your team is falling apart because they can't get together. Pour moi, c'est dangereux. So be careful when you time and announce that partnership, and of course, make sure you have a proper contract, a partnership agreement, a corporation qui va protéger the intellectual property and all that stuff.
Puis aussi, il y a NOOLAW. Donc, si vous allez dans la page de Jamie ou si vous allez dans ma page, après ça, vous cliquez sur le nom de Jamie si jamais vous ne savez pas comment vous y rendre. Jamie a lancé son NOOLAW, NOOLAW, dans lequel il y a des vidéos, puis dans lequel Jamie parle de ça en tant qu'avocat, des choses auxquelles il faut faire attention. And I believe it's like $5, I think. I saw that.
No, it was 5 points. So we created like a point system. So just by logging in, there's an internal currency system where you can actually go in. Just by signing up, you get 5 points or 10 points, and you can actually use those points towards, I'm going to post products and services and courses. So right now you can take a free startup 101 law class that's going to walk you through the whole cycle. I just uploaded a shareholder agreement. So you're talking about partnerships. It could be a really good course for you, where I explain the whole partnership agreement, and I even give a model for you to use.
Okay, that's really good. Wow, good. Thank you. So that's really good. Just for you to know, people, I mean, everyone is will, be attending, who is attending, who will be attending. Jamie most likely will reach out just to say hi. Nothing, no harassment there. Just to say hi. And if ever, you have more questions or you think he could be a good match, an added value, I mean, feel free to reach out.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. And maybe, without giving everything that you put in and you work so hard to build, just maybe give the main tips and tricks that you've seen over the years that maybe your clients didn't pay attention and should have paid attention and would have been a big difference had they paid attention.
Yeah, good questions. I think a lot of the I think that a lot of clients Google things too much and watch too much TV and try to emulate all the cool trends in business. And when I look back, is it okay? Okay, you can sit here. Okay, ask me now, please, okay?
In the meantime, while Jamie's taking care of his daughter, just like any good father would do, show him some love, send some hearts.
Send some hearts. So I was saying, I hate to see people jumping on the bandwagon. So, there's a new software, I got to try it. There's a new way of doing accounting. There's a new way. If I've learned anything in the last 10 years, it's always the basics that are going to win. You're never going to get a contract a big contract just by doing a post or doing a comment or doing a live. These are important because it gives people a chance to see people like you and me and decide, one day when a need comes up, they'll think of us because they liked what we said, how we said it, or whatever. Problem is that we're always looking for shortcuts, and we forget that you can't write 17 emails and get your tone across. I have a rule where every 3 emails I send out to that person, I need to pick up the phone and call them, because it's like broken telephone. They can't hear my voice. They can't feel the reassurance. They can't feel whether I'm nervous. And so it's very important to hop on a video call, a phone call. And if you listen to all of my entrepreneurs in quarantine, I talk to millionaires, I talk to startups, I talk to community leaders. If there's one thing that comes up over and over and over again, it's I was there for my clients during COVID. I picked up the phone. Mm-hmm. And that's how I connect to my clients. That's why they trust me. That's why when there's a big transaction, they're going to call me. This is why when they need coaching, they're going to call me, because not because I post 3 times a day. It's because I called them. It's because I kept it simple. I went back to the basics. And the same rules apply not only in your business and partnership relationships, same rules apply to business. You don't have to get 15 software. Sometimes you could have a spreadsheet. You can keep it simple. You don't have to pay for services. Keep it simple, focus on the bottom line. And it's okay not to be on social media. People like you and I use social media as instruments for communication and to talk about, these are tools for our audiences to learn from. But I use social media as a business communication tool. But in reality, it has no direct impact on my bottom line. The direct impact on my bottom line comes from me sitting alone in my office doing contracts, being on the phone, coaching my staff. It has nothing to do with social media. Social media for me is an audience builder. It's a way for me to build confidence in myself, to help the vision of my brand, to help my business. It has nothing to do with my bottom line. And people really have to disconnect what they think they're going to make and social media and all the fancy things that we see on our news feeds and on TV.
And I really love that you talk about that, because I'll speak also for myself. I mean, I tend to think that, okay, social media is one thing, and I'm working real hard. Right now, I'm still working a 9 to 5. I haven't quit my job yet. Don't know if I will quit it. Most likely, yes, because this is what I want to do really with my life. But I think this is what I was born to do, type of thing. But then again, it's, starting from nothing-ish, and then nothing, starting from myself and then building things up. And then remembering that social media is not yet a tool that will make me money yet in order to quit my job. So it's something I believe that, people at home who are watching right now, you and I, everybody, actually, we need to keep that in mind. And like Jamie just mentioned, I mean, Jamie's working, but Jamie's never forgetting that what's really, making him money or allowing him to survive and stuff like that and providing, for his family is the contracts and stuff like that. So how would you say, Jamie, that, the balance between doing the, building your brand, yes, and then doing the social media, as well as actually taking time to do everything that you need to do in order to, put food on the table. How would you deal with that? Because that's really, really hard, actually.
Yeah, things really changed when I stopped being completely brand driven. So Legal Logic or 89L or whatever, or NOOLAW. It's always Jamie Benizri who has created a different vertical as a distribution channel for everything that I'm doing. So when I stopped focusing about all the brands and I started focusing on Jamie Benizri and what he stands for, it really contributed, it reverse engineered, it contributed to the value of my branding. And it really said, oh, Jamie Benizri is connected with this. He stands for these things, these 3-4 things. And this is what he's trying to do. And so I think that when you put yourself in front of the brand and talk as a spokesperson, your values become the values of the company. Your values become the lessons of 89L and everything that you stand for. And so I think it's important sometimes to step away from the logo you've created, put yourself in front of the screen or in front of people or as a leader. And that usually is a really fast and more organic way to build your brand. And so that has contributed to more recognition, more reputation, more clients. And that's the part that you need to spend, 90% of your time on. Because, if you're doing this to be famous or for notoriety, it's going to be really hard not only to make a living, but to do what you really want to do and what you're really good at, whether it's law or coaching or anything else. And so for me, I don't make money on social media. It's not, I'm not charging, we don't charge for these things. So you got to be careful where you spend your time, because, you got to focus on what's putting food on the table.
Exactly, and we have someone who resonated with everything you just mentioned. Magali, okay, Jamie, you got me on the go backward basis. Yeah, I feel like we forget that sometimes.
Yeah.
And also, James, a conversation with healthy is like all about perseverance. In my experience in business, yes, true that, big time. And okay, James has a question for you. Can you speak, Jamie, a little bit about your brand, the vertical markets that you and your team tackle? How exactly is it target?
Yeah, so
Targeted.
that's a good question. Our target market is always very similar. I'm always catering to, young, to middle-aged entrepreneurs, people who are in business. A lot of the clients that have been with me for years are getting more mature, have more sophisticated needs. So it forces us to grow up with them, which is great. But we're always targeting, our verticals are always targeting the same kind of people. And I always want my dialogue to be very similar. If I have 5 verticals, I want to talk the same way, because it's very different. It's very difficult. If you're one person as a spokesperson for all these brands, it's very different to be 5 different people. And you don't want to be 5 different people, because it's going to look fake. It's not going to look sincere, and you can't pull it off. You can't lie across 5 verticals. I'm not an actor. So I think it's important to be the same person, but have a very deliberate message, have a very simple message, so that people see NOOLAW, they think online education community. Legal Logic, this is the way that modern lawyers should be. It's transparent. It's they have tools. There's a team that's dynamic. When you go in there, you feel the energy. Ticket Aid, a ticket brand. It's simple. You go online, you fight your ticket. Jamie Benizri, the person can represent different things, but the message needs to be really simple, and it needs to be believable. Because as soon as you start to feel that I'm acting or I'm being fake just to sell you on a service or a product, my show's over. It's not going to work.
And plus, it takes a lot of energy. Eh?
It's exhausting.
Takes a lot of energy.
Can't pull
it off. Jamie, I want to thank you so much, for taking the time. I really do appreciate it. I do understand you, a really tight schedule. I want to maybe give you an opportunity, if there's anything that you'd like to mention to people, that you'd like to focus on, the project that you're working on. And before you do that, actually, there's actually one last question that I'll take, also from James. No, I don't think one person can tackle multiple vertical markets, but then would it be wise to hire someone on your team that knows that market in particular to expand your business?
Sure. Yeah, that's also a good question. Luckily for me, I have a team of people that support all of these things, right? So it's always going to be law and entrepreneurial. I talk about things that I feel comfortable talking about because I've learned or I've experienced. But I'm not the person who will speak to every client. I'm not the one who's picking up the phones and doing the mandates and doing the billing. I have a team. And if I didn't have a team, all of this would be impossible. So yes, I have different spokespeople in different brand. Avi Levy is the one who represents Ticket Aid. When I do hidden defects, Zoe Fortin is the one who helps me in that project. When I do NOOLAW, I have contributors. There needs to be a team approach for everything. I can't do everything, but I'm the seed. I'm the catalyst that's going to start the project, and that will invite the best people to help execute what I think is a great opportunity for them.
It's really good. We talked about,
I don't have anything else to add. I mean, in terms of contributing everything, I think you really gave me an opportunity to explore everything I do. I really appreciate that.
Well, I do appreciate your presence, and also people, you remember that Jamie might be hollering at you. Feel free to, follow him, take a look at what he's doing, the NOOLAW also that he's just recently launched. Guys, thank you so much for showing up, for being there on a consistent basis. I really do appreciate it. And remember to also maybe pick and choose, the flowers that you would like to water. Okay? So take good care of yourself. Thank you so much,
Love
Jamie.
it. Thank you so much. Thanks for the opportunity.
Bye-bye.